Hi everyone, thanks for coming. My name's Deb Kemp. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator at Northern Beaches Council. And we're here today as part of a series of workshops that Northern Beaches Council is partnering with the Australian Taxation Office to support small businesses. In particular, as we're gearing up towards tax time in October, we'll be running a webinar every Tuesday on a range of topics. And we also appreciate that this is unprecedented times for a lot of businesses. So it's a really good opportunity to get the latest on how the ATO is helping businesses get their tax obligations in line and some of the changes which are happening, and also if you have any specific questions relating to your business at this time. So today's topic is closing your small business, and obviously this is a challenging topic and something that we appreciate may become more of a reality for a lot of businesses as we're going through the COVID-19 crisis. So opportunity to understand how best you can do this, and what are the obligations, how to make the process as painless for you and your staff and other business partners as you go through that journey. So today I want to introduce Lyndon, who's the Small Business Experience at the ATO office, who's going to run us through her presentation. So I'll hand over now to Lyndon.
Thanks, Deb, and thanks, Northern Beaches Council. It's fantastic to be able to have you on board, and especially during these COVID challenging times. So closing your small business, look, there's quite a bit of information in the package, and we try and touch on all topics. Now, often we come to these types of forums and we think, I should have asked a question, I could have asked a question. So look, I've gone and placed my email address at the top of the screen. I've also placed some links directly to our COVID-19 support for small businesses, and obviously things that we can help you with in small business, things like lodgement and payment deferrals, payment arrangements, low interest payments, remitting penalties and interest, varying pay-as-you-go instalments, and varying your lodging cycles. Plenty of things the tax office can certainly help you with to get you through. However, if you've gotten to that stage where you just think, no, look, I just need to close my business, we're going to step you through exactly how to do that. Now, don't hesitate to come through the chat box with any questions, firstly. Secondly, if you do walk away from this forum, you feel that you should have asked that question, don't hesitate to email me. So let's kick this webinar. Acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of country throughout Australia and their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. I'd like to pay my respects to them, their cultures, elders, past and present. So I can't give any specific advice in this forum. Okay, I can certainly give you general advice. I can point you in the right direction. And obviously we encourage networking within small business. So today we're going to look at the main tasks for closing your business with the ATO, other considerations such as capital gains tax and goods and services tax, all the support and the help you're going to require to get you through this process. And obviously we'll take your questions throughout the webinar. This indicates a little bit of a chat session. Now, in regards to the chat box, if you haven't used it before, don't worry, just head to the bottom of the chat box, choose to panelist or to host, or you can choose to send your question to everyone, type in your question and hit send. So I'd like to gain a bit of an understanding of who's in the audience in relation to where are you at with your small business. Are you a sole trader? Perhaps you're in a partnership. Do you have a company? Are you a business that employs people? You might be a tax or a BAS agent. Don't hesitate to come through the chat box. I'm more than happy to have a bit of a look at where you're sitting within small business. It enables me to be able to tailor the information I've got for you. And also, I'm going to ask you one other question. Have you actually made the decision to close your business? Okay, thanks, Sue. You're a sole trader. Fantastic. So, Sue, have you, and Sue and our audience, have you made the decision to close your business just yet, or are you thinking about it? Come through the chat box and give me a bit of an idea. I'm just going to go on with a little bit of information whilst you pop that in. So look, if you're still thinking about the decision to close, you might like to use the ATO Business Viability Assessment Tool. So based on the details you enter, it will give you some guidance about how viable your business is. It's going to point out the areas that you may be able to improve. And once you have those details, the contacts that it gives you towards the contacts that we're going to give you towards the end of this session we'll also discuss those results, and it gives you a better idea and a clearer picture as to where you're going to be at with closing your business. So I'll just give you that tool again. It's called the Business Viability Assessment Tool, and it's a great tool to be able to help guide you through the closing process. So look, once you've made that decision to close your business, there are quite a number of things that you need to do. So in this course, I'm going to explain the main tasks that you're going to need to complete in order to close your business with the ATO. However, closing your business can be complex, but for those sole traders, it's not as complex at all. So this course is starting point, but it doesn't cover everything. As I said before, towards the end of the course, I'll give you some details for people and services to contact of who you can seek free and low cost advice from. So just to make sure that you're not missing out on any of that information. So when closing your business with the ATO, as I've said, there are several main tasks you're going to need to complete. You need to meet all lodgement and payment obligations, including finalising your employer obligations. And after completing all your lodgement obligations, you will need to check if your accounts are in credit and request all refunds you are entitled to. Look, you'll need to cancel registrations such as pay-as-you-go withholding, GST, and your If you have a company structure, you'll need to deregister your company. You'll also need to store your business records. Now, this may seem a lot to do. So closing your business, look, it can take some time, and in many cases, it's not a fast process. But there is help each step of the way. So these tasks are not completed in sequence, one after the other, but some tasks you will complete at the same time. However, the last thing you should do is cancel your ABN, as it may be linked to other systems. So if you cancel it before the first 3 tasks listed on the screen, it can cause delay and may cause complications. And I've struck that a lot being in small business. People just close their ABN down and they don't realise that to be able to meet their other taxation obligations, they need their ABN to be active on the system. So cancelling your ABN will be the last thing that you do on your to-do list, okay? All right, so meeting all lodgement and payment obligations. So for those in the audience, what sort of obligations have you got? Have you got GST, pay-as-you-go withholding, pay-as-you-go instalments, fuel tax credits, perhaps fringe benefit tax? Depending on what you have is depending on when you can cancel these things. So don't hesitate to come through the chat box and let me know. So the date your business ceases is the date you've chosen to have all your lodgement obligations and your accounts completed and finalised. So this date is also reported on your forms to cancel your registrations. So when you exit your business or stop trading, you may still have a pay-as-you-go instalment obligation through to the date that your business ceases. You can choose to vary your pay-as-you-go instalment rate or amount if you think the amount or the rate the ATO has calculated on your instalment activity may not actually reflect your current circumstances. So if you're not sure how to do this, visit Pay-as-you-go Installment, the ATO website, okay? So the ATO will automatically remove you from the pay-as-you-go instalment system when you no longer have to pay instalments. You can also request to exit the system. Whether you leave it to be done automatically by the ATO or you request it to exit sooner will depend on your circumstances and the timing of your business closure. So in the handout that I know Deb would have sent out, it'll have a list in regards to what you need to do. So just check that handout. Now, as I said before, you can request to exit the system sooner. So if you think you no longer need to prepay your income tax by instalments, you can do this by using your My account linked to the ATO for sole traders. Your registered agent can request to exit the system on your behalf. You can call the ATO on 132866 between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. And you can also contact the ATO via secure message on your business portal. You'll also need to lodge your final business activity statement. I just spoke about the date you choose for your business to cease. So this business end date is usually worked out when you must cancel certain registrations, including things like your GST, which I'll talk about later in the session. So your business activity statement is used to report most commonly your GST. So in your final activity statement, look, you must report all sales, purchases, importations made in your final tax return, including the sale of your business if you have sold it. You must report any adjusted or any adjustment for business assets held after the cancellation of your GST and any other adjustments. Look, there are links to more information about lodging your final business activity statement. You're going to handout, okay? So if you're in the industry that you need to lodge a taxable payment annual report, okay? So if you are in one of these 6 industries, and you can find those industries on ato.gov.au/TPAR. So as part of closing your business, you're going to need to finalise your payments and your obligations to your contractors. So some businesses need to report information to the ATO about payments that they've made to contractors for services. And this information, as I said, it's available on ato.gov.au/TPAR. Now, no matter what business structure you have, you must lodge tax return. Your company, your partnership, trust or individual return have sections where you indicate it will be your last tax return. We call it a further return not necessary. So once you've lodged your further return not necessary, it tells the tax office that you don't need to lodge a further return. When you close your business, look, you need to settle any outstanding amounts owed to the ATO, including liability from your final income tax return or your activity statement lodgement. Now, you can make payments to the ATO in a number of ways. However, the ATO understands that occasionally it may not be possible to pay on time. So look, some of you may be closing your business because of financial difficulties. So please make contact with the ATO as soon as answers. And if you do end up with a debt, and you're going through challenging times, you've had to close your business because of COVID, we totally understand that. We've been speaking to hundreds of small businesses around the country every week, and especially in particular our friends in Victoria. And yeah, times are tough. So often if you are closing your business, you do end up with a debt. Don't worry. You can get into a sustainable, I'll get it out of my mouth eventually, a sustainable payment arrangement with the ATO. So if you can't meet the upfront payments that the ATO says that you need to meet, be honest, reach out, say to us, I can't do that. I want to get into a payment arrangement, but I can't do that. I need some breathing time to get myself out of COVID-19. So reach out, ask the questions, never be afraid to ask those questions, okay? All right, so look, this is an opportunity to go back to Deb Kemp at Council and find out what's happening in the Northern Beaches Council region. What can we do? How's Northern Beaches supporting the community? Over to you, Deb.
Thanks, Lyndon. So yeah, well, this is part of a series of ATO webinars, as I've mentioned, gearing up to tax time, but also aware that tax questions may be tailored around COVID-19. So we're supporting businesses in that way. But we've also been running a series of webinars earlier on where we were connecting particularly to Food to Service New South Wales to the grant programs and a range of topics including mental health and well-being for both businesses and a wider community, and also issues around how to stay connected with your business base. And we've just done a business recovery survey, and we know that marketing and promotion is one of the key challenges. So that's something we're really going to be beefing up over the next few months, is a digital marketing program for small businesses, particularly retailers, on the main streets. And the other thing that council did quite early on was try and reduce where we could some of that financial burden for local businesses. So particularly the fee waivers for a number of businesses, whether it's outdoor dining, environmental health inspections, fire safety, and also our own commercial leases. And again, we're kind of just trying to connect our business community through regular updates and newsletters to just keep you informed about changing situation, and where we can, directing you through to particularly state and federal government support to help you on this journey over the next, hopefully the next few months, but obviously further as well.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Deb. And it sounds like Northern Beaches Council are right there supporting their community through these challenging times. So a massive thank you to Northern Beaches Council. So look, I'm just going to place a link into the chat box. It's all about the instant asset write-off. So the instant asset write-off was increased to $150,000 per financial year. And Josh Frydenberg came out a couple of months back and said, you know what, we need to extend this instant asset write-off. It was meant to end as of the 30th of June 2020. However, they're extending it through to the 31st of December 2020. That's what does that mean? You're at with or small business, you are able to take advantage of the $150,000 instant asset write-off in the 2020 financial year, and you can also take advantage of the $150,000 instant asset write-off in the 2021 financial year. So it's just that little bit of help, especially when you are closing your business and perhaps you have bought some assets that you may need to look at doing the instant asset write-off with. So finalising employer obligations, let's have a little bit of a look at that. So it's kind of the second task as so to finalising your employer obligations. So if your business has employees, you must notify them and officially finalise their employment before the date your business ceases. So you need to pay out any entitlements such as outstanding wages or accrued leave. Now, it is important for you to finalise important tax obligations with your employees, even though a business is no longer trading. Now, these obligations include fringe benefit tax, pay-as-you-go withholding, superannuation, and employment termination payments. So let's have a little bit closer look in relation to finalising those obligations. So for employees who are no longer employed by you, you don't need to wait until the end of the financial year to finalise your single touch payroll data. So finalising is an important step as it enables your ex-employees to lodge the tax return at the end of the financial year. If you stop hiring employees, you should cancel your pay-as-you-go withholding registration. We'll talk about this a little bit more in detail soon. There are no special requirements for super. So if you're registered for fringe benefit tax, you may need to pay FBT, or if you've paid FBT instalments for the current year, or what we call fringe benefit tax, you need to lodge a notice of non-lodgement, okay? So if everything's done, you need to do a notice of there are no payments to be made or instalments are to be refunded. Okay, so if there's any questions, come on down through the chat box. More than happy to answer them as we go. I always keep one eye on the chat box and one eye on the presentation. So happy to answer your questions. Let's have a little bit of a look at request or refunds that you're entitled to. So once you've submitted all your final lodgements and paid your obligations, your ATO accounts should be finalised. So you need to be able to see if your account's in credit or whether there's refunds owed to you. So if you're entitled to refunds, they will generally issue once your lodgements are finalised. However, check the business portal or MyGov if you're a sole trader, and ask your tax agent to make sure you've received all of your refunds. So if you view your account and it's in credit, you can secure mail message through the business portal, or you can give us a call on 1361, or you can request it through your tax agent. Let's have a look at cancelling registrations. What does that involve? Go withholding before you cancel your ABN. Otherwise, it can cause delays and some complications, as we mentioned earlier. Before you can cancel your ABN, look, you need to meet the lodgement reporting and payment obligations for all the government agencies you deal with. Now, it is important you wait to cancel your ABN until all processes are completed, including everything that we've spoken about in this session. This also minimises the risks of your refund being delayed. So cancelling your ABN will automatically cancel your registrations for GST, luxury car tax, wine equalisation tax, and fuel tax credits, which means you're actually cancelling all those registrations in one hit. So cancelling your ABN also cancels any authorised relationship between your ABN and your MyGov ID, or if you're a sole trader, MyGov. So this means you will not be able to access the business details in the business portal if you're on MyGov ID or other online services. So you need these up until you cease your business. So this is another reason why you want to finalise all your lodgements and obligations first. Now look, it does work slightly differently for sole traders because you're an individual / sole trader. So if you end your business as a sole trader, well, you're still going to be using your MyGov account. So if you have a MyGov ID, which is the platform that you need to be able to use the business portal, that's when everything will be cancelled once you cancel that ABN. So you can choose to cancel your registration separately if you want. If you take that approach, you must remember to cancel your GST within 21 days of ceasing your business. Now, cancelling your GST will cancel your registrations for luxury car tax, wine equalisation tax, and fuel tax credits. Now, this will give you an extra 7 days with accesses to the business portal and online services for your business before you cancel your ABN. Now, your ABN must be cancelled within 28 days of ceasing your business. Now, you can cancel your GST registration, your pay-as-you-go withholding, your ABN, and any other roles or registrations through the business portal, or by calling the ATO on 1328 AM and 6 PM Monday to Friday. Now, your registered tax or BAS agent can cancel the registrations on your behalf. You can complete the application to cancel registration. Okay, so it's the application to cancel registration, and we always give a NAT number. It's like a publication number. So that's NAT, N-A-T 2955. You can also do this through online ordering, and the ATO can post it to you. In addition to the methods I've just listed, you can also cancel your pay-as-you-go withholding registration using your standard business reporting compatible software. Now, if you don't need your business name anymore, you'll need to tell the Australian Securities and Investment Commission, ASIC. So the ASIC website provides information on things to consider before you apply to cancel, a step-by-step instruction of your business name, and the details of what happens after you apply to cancel your business name. Now, if you want to transfer any business name to a new owner, you will also need to do this via ASIC. Now, if you have a company, you'll need to contact ASIC to deregister with them in order to formally close your company. Now, a company must dispose of all its assets to deregister. So closing a partnership, a trust or a company has various different requirements depending on the complexity of each. Look, I can't go into the specifics here, but you can find more information on ato.gov.au or business.gov.au. I'll give you some contact details for these people further into the webinar. So the last task is storing your records even after your business closes. You must store your business records, okay? So we're going to go into that, but if there's any questions coming through the chat box, I do apologise if my webcam is freezing slightly. I think we're just about to get a bit of rain. COVID-19 and working from home, so I do apologise. Let's fingers crossed it's not going to happen anymore. Let's keep driving. Okay, so storing business records. Each industry and each record type has different requirements for how long you keep your records. So under the tax law, you must keep your records for 5 years after the records are prepared or obtained, or the transactions are completed, whichever occurs later. Now, these include records relating to sales, including the sale of your business and assets if applicable, and purchases, payments to employees, and payments to other businesses. Records containing sensitive information will also require you to keep or dispose of them in a way that's in line with the Privacy Act from 1988. The Office of the Australian Information Commission has information on how the Privacy Act applies to small business. So maybe just head there for a little bit, for a few more details. Let's have a look at other considerations. So you may need to sell or manage your business assets when you close your business. Now, business assets can include all outstanding stock, tools, equipment, machinery, property, premise, including business vehicles, furniture, fixtures, fittings, domain names, intellectual property such as patents or trademarks, and obviously you've got your licenses and your permits. You should consider whether goods and services tax applies. So for example, if you registered your business for GST, you may need to include GST in the price of individual business assets that you sell. You may also need to make GST adjustments on your final activity statement, including for assets you hold after cancellation. So your handout that's been sent, that's got more information in it for you. Now, if you're selling your small business or business assets, you should consider capital gains tax applies when you close your business. So CGT, capital gains tax concessions, may be available. There are 4 small CGT concessions that you can use to reduce your capital gains on business assets. You can apply for concessions as you're entitled to, and this may reduce the capital gains to 0. Just make sure you meet the CGT concession conditions. If you're entitled to the small business 15-year exemption, you won't have an assessable capital gain when you sell a business asset if your business has owned the asset for at least 15 continuous years, you're aged 55 years and over, and you're retiring or permanently incapacitated. If you own a small business and are eligible for the small business 50% active asset reduction, you can reduce your capital gain on active business assets you've owned for 12 months or more by 50%. If you sell a business asset and you're entitled to the small business retirement exemption, look, the capital from the sale is exempt up to a lifetime of $500,000. If you're under the age of 55, you must pay the exempt amount into either a complying superannuation fund or a retirement savings account. Now, if you sell an active asset and you're entitled to the small business rollover, you can defer all or part of the capital gain for 2 years or longer if you acquire a replacement asset or incur expenditures on making capital improvements to an existing asset. The CGT concession conditions that you must meet and full details of each concession and how they apply, look, go to ato.gov.au, look under capital gains tax. There's plenty of information to get you across that line. I recommend you also speak to an accountant or an advisor when closing your business. Just make sure that you're claiming everything that you're entitled to so you don't end up paying too much tax or missing out on concessions. Let's talk support and help. And Deb, I'm just going to quickly go back to you. I'm just watching. We do have time to touch on this. What support has Northern Beaches Council got on offer to be able to support small businesses through COVID?
Like I mentioned earlier, I think the first thing we did was fee waivers, and we've extended those. Initially, they were for 6 months. We've extended particularly outdoor dining through till the end of financial year. We did do a series of small grants for creative industries. So again, that was something that was very sector specific, but we are looking at maybe there's other opportunities we can do. There's also hardship rates relief, so that's business rate payers. So there's some financial tools, but I think our main way of supporting is just connecting businesses, whether that's through newsletters and webinars. We're not really doing face-to-face events just now, but we are hoping to do a bit more, particularly one-on-one with businesses, whether it's getting them a bit more digital savvy, increasing their online presence. That's probably one of the key areas we've heard that businesses want some help with. So that's something we plan to be doing over the next few months.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's great to see all that support coming out of the Northern Beaches Council, and I'll tell you something, individuals and businesses are definitely needing that support and that assistance right now. Thanks for that, Deb. I appreciate that. Now, look, if your business is experiencing financial difficulties and serious hardship, please reach out to us. I've just popped a link into the chat box, but if you go to ato.gov.au and type in financial hardship, or just type in the word hardship, you'll get a raft of information and support material to be able to assist you with those financial difficulties or serious hardships. There is a lot on offer that the ATO can support and assist you with. So look, now we're going to talk more about the support and help available within the Australian Taxation Office. So closing your business, look, it can be an incredibly emotional time. After all, look, you've probably put countless hours, money, energy, you've probably put your life into your small business. And it's important to know that assistance really is available. Like I said before, look, if you've got an accountant or an advisor, may I encourage that you would seek their assistance as well. If you don't have an accountant or a financial advisor, there is free support available to small businesses. You can visit business.gov.au to help you with closing your business. I'll just give that to you again, business.gov.au. So you can speak to one of their agents or you can give them a call, 132846. Now look, they're highly trained. They've had extensive experience in the business sector, including small business, and you can initiate a web chat with an agent or complete their online inquiry form. Now, the National Debt Helpline offer free financial counselling services and a range of help. You can visit their webpage or call them on 1800 007 007. Vincent Care and the Salvation Army, look, they offer free financial counselling services as well. You can also contact your local business enterprise centre. So that's Business Enterprise Centre for low-cost advice and support. So your local BECs, look, they're available to assist at any stage of small business cycles, including closing or selling your business. The ato.gov.au website, Look, contains detailed information for all businesses that are closing or selling up. You can call through 132866 and talk to an ATO officer about closing your business. I'll give you that number again, 132866. Ask for help. Ask for the information about what you need to do to finalise your business with the ATO. You can also ask questions online through our Small Business Assist. Okay, so it's Small Business Assist live chat feature. We also have a webcast that you can watch where various experts from government agencies discuss all the things that you need to consider and what you need to do when selling your business. Some other services that you may like to explore depending on your circumstances. So financial advice through Money Smart website. This will help take care of yourself financially. Perhaps career advice through My Future website if you're looking for a new career direction. There's also employment assistance through Australian Job Search if you're trying to find a job, and Services Australia can offer employment and financial assistance. It's also important to know that there are personal counselling services around Australia that can help you through stressful times, such as Beyond Blue, 1300 22 4636. And there's also the National Association for Loss and Grief. So no matter what you're going through, we understand it's an emotionally charged time. However, there's plenty available, free available information on ato.gov.au. May I also suggest that if you would like to attend any other webinars, that you go to the Northern Beaches Council, check out the upcoming webinar schedule, and look, if the webinars, you look at the Northern Beaches Council website, if it's not the webinar that you're wanting to watch now, perhaps you'd like to go to ato.gov.au and type in small business webinars into the search function. We have a raft of very accurate factual information that you're going to get firsthand from our ATO small business webinars. We've got a lot more packages coming out. There's a lot in the pipeline. There's a lot debuted via webcam, via webinar. So ato.gov.au/small business webinars, or just place small business webinars in the search bar. It'll certainly come through. Okay, so look, I'm more than happy to take any questions that you want to bring through. We're everywhere. We're all over Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and we've got plenty of how-to videos on YouTube. So if you'd like to stay tuned to the latest and greatest tax information that literally is hot off the press, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on LinkedIn. We have some proactive deputy commissioners and assistant commissioners that are often posting all the latest tax and super information. So we look forward to your following via those platforms. But look, that's it from me. A sincere thanks to the Northern Beaches Council for being so proactive in the small business space and for assisting and guiding your community the way you are. So this is Lyndon Regina signing out from the Australian Taxation Office at Northern Beaches Council.
Thanks, Lyndon. Just to wrap up, just once again to say thank you for attending. This is one of a series of webinars. So we've got one next week on Introduction to Business Record Keeping. The following week it's on running a home-based business. And then we've got one on budgeting for your commitments and cash flow, and then becoming an employer. So these webinars will take us up until the end of September. So hopefully people will come along. And as we mentioned, this is being recorded, so I'll be sending out a link to everyone who registered with the recording, and possibly, I think it takes a couple of days just to get it uploaded onto our website, and I will give you links through to some of the other business support that Council's running, as well as the Business Enterprise Centre that Lyndon mentioned, Realise Business. They provide a series of business coaching advisory services that you may want to be tapping into. So I'll provide that link as well. But once again, thank you for listening in, and hope to see you at the next ATO Northern Beaches Council webinar. Thanks everyone. Bye.